Oh, deux croissants
Et un pain au chocolat, s'il vous plaît.
et pain à chocolat. Salut everyone! Welcome to Yummy. Today I have a little project coming up, but first thing first, let's enjoy these scrumptious fresh pastries from the local boulangerie. Yo guys, tomorrow is Mother's Day in France and I am going to bake a cake for my mother's-in-law. This cake is going to be the first time that I'm making it by myself. The last time I made it was with my auntie. She was the boss, so she did everything in the kitchen. She did the mixing. All I did was just helping her with the ingredients and prepping and obviously washing the dishes. So yeah, I look forward to make it this time by myself, and I really hope, fingers crossed, it turns out well, because it was not only just for my mother-in-law. Apparently she invited some friends to come over to eat for dinner tonight, so my cake will be used as a dessert. And so yeah, so that will be extra pressure for me, but I hope it turns out well, which I think it's gonna be good. We'll see, can't guarantee, but even if it doesn't turn out well, it's gonna be served as dessert anyway. So yeah, I look forward to bake it, and let's crack on. Okay, let the project begins. First thing first, I'm gonna have to separate the egg yolk and egg white. For this recipe, I've used 14 yolks and 9 egg whites. It is crucial to ensure the bowls are clean and dry and that there is no yolk in the egg whites. Otherwise, it will affect the fluffiness of the egg whites when you beat them. Okay, so the eggs are done, all are separated. Next, I am going to need 340 grams of butter. So let's prepare the butter step by step. I just realized the butter are not in room temperature. So I remember it has to be in room temperature. I can cream it. We'll see. 340 grams of butter. Chill. Voila! Here are the butter, because now it's such a big cube of butter, so I'm gonna cut them into smaller pieces so it gets easier to blend. I think that's okay now. Like this. Okay. Auntie, I know you're watching this, so if there's any mistake that I've done, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Okay, eggs done, butter done. Now I am going to need sugar. So 280 grams of sugar. There we go. That's 280 grams of sugar ready. And the next ingredients, I am going to need 311 grams of flour, which I need to sift. So I'm gonna pour the flour in the bowl. Right. The recipe also calls for cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, but because I don't have cornstarch now, so I won't I won't bother putting the cornstarch, so I'm just gonna put the all-purpose flour. Right, now the flour is ready. I just need to sift it, which I can sift. Gonna need to find a bowl.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Right, I am going to sift this flour. Alright, the flour are now sifted, but it's a little mess, so I'm just going to clean it up first. Okay, what do I need next? 14 yolk done, 9 egg whites done, butter done, sugar done, flour done, 10 grams of baking powder, which I can mix them together. Actually, I should have sieved the baking powder together with the flour. Anyway, never mind. Right, I'm supposed to sieve the baking powder together with the flour, but because I forgot that step, so I think I'm just gonna whack it in, I think. Hopefully, it'll be okay. 10 grams. The recipe that my auntie gave me is actually in ounce, so I have converted the ounce into gram. So I'm using gram today for all the recipes. Now the baking powder is done, and the last thing, which is condensed milk. But I don't have a condensed milk, so I'm just gonna use the regular milk. Now, the recipe actually calls for condensed milk, but because I don't have a condensed milk, so I'm just going to use the regular milk. Obviously, the end result is going to taste slightly different to my auntie's cake. However, people haven't tried my auntie's cake before, so they wouldn't know how great my auntie's cake. They would think my cake tastes just as good as my auntie's cake. So how much do I need? It's 60 grams. 60 grams of milk, and the final ingredient, which is optional, is the raisins. I really like the butter cakes with the raisin. My auntie made it with the raisin. It was very nice. It was just so good. So I'm gonna have to make it as well with the raisin. Now to prep the raisin, we're gonna have to soak the raisin first, and then we're gonna dust it with the flour. The reason why we're doing this, so that the raisin doesn't sink in the batter while we're making it. That's a tip from my auntie, by the way. So I'm gonna follow her step by soaking the raisin, and then I'm gonna dust the raisin with flour. And that's it. All the ingredients are prepped, so it's time to make the cake. Right. The first step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna beat this butter first until it's creamy, and then we're gonna add in half of the sugar that we just measured. Right, let's go. Okay, so now the butter, as you can see, is quite white and creamy. So now it's time to add the half of the sugar, and then we'll keep the other half for the egg white. That should be it. Now we're gonna continue to beat the butter. Alright, and now we're gonna scrape the side, and we are going to add in the milk.
Now, at this point onwards is where I start to have problem. The cream butter starting to turn into scrambled eggs texture as soon as I added in the milk. Then when I added in the yolk slowly, one by one, the butter just do not emulsify and it separates. I looked up on Google that this may due to temperature change. Has anyone experienced this? If you know how to fix this issue, please let me know in the comment below.
Anyway, I don't know what to do now. Hopefully it will be okay. Now I'm gonna beat the egg white until it goes fluffy. The recipe actually calls for the cream of tartar, but I don't have them. But I heard if you put something acidic and it will hold out the meringue. So I'm just gonna put some lemon juice for this. Just a few drops of lemon juice, and then I'm gonna start to whip this egg white.
Here I am beating the egg whites and slowly adding the remaining half of the sugar.
So I think this is good, but let's test. I'm gonna flip this upside down. Voila! Right, I think this is good. I'm not gonna go too much because otherwise I'm already panicking with my buttercream now. So I'll just hope that it turns out well, really. Yay. Now I'm mixing the egg white and the butter together to form the batter. But from what I've seen on my auntie did, she actually get into the batter with her hand and mixing together. I'm not too confident doing that considering I have already messed up my butter. So I'm just gonna mix everything using the scraper. Just gonna gently go over everything, and I'm just hoping this turns out well because I'm not sure what happened with my butter just now. If anyone knows why, please leave a comment and let me know. So we want to keep the bubbles of the meringue as much as possible. So we're just gonna gently folding everything together. And now let's just hope for the best. What a mess. I forgot one thing, the flour. I forgot the flour. This is a disaster. Okay? This is an absolute disaster. I'm just gonna use my auntie's technique since I've already messed up everything here. This is a joke.
By now, I'm pretty annoyed with myself for the mess I've made. Oh well, time to move on to the last step, which is evenly distribute the raisins that I have coated with flour over the batter.
Okay, so here is the final look of the batter, and honestly, I don't know how is it gonna turn out. We'll see. Right, so I've just put the batter into the oven to bake for 170 degree. It's gonna be baked for around 40 to 50 minutes, so fingers crossed. Let's see how it turns out.
Wow, look at the cake, not too bad. It's looking good in the oven.
And voila! Not too bad, not too bad, considering some of the failure that I did during the process, but it looks good for now. But we'll see once we cut it. Okay, by the looks of it, the cake is a success. And I just hope that once we cut it, it will look good. Look at that. Look at that. The cake turns out to be quite a success by the looks of it. Ta-da! And it will be served as a dessert for tonight's meal. We got 2 more guests coming down tonight, and I hope that it won't be an embarrassment. Once we cut this, hopefully it tastes good, and I hope the French people will like my cake, and I hope my auntie will be proud of my cake too. Thank you.
That night was a stroke of luck. My in-law prepared an incredible 3-course dinner and our bellies were fully satisfied.
Let's cut the cake and the moment of the truth.
Sinon, je reste à la maison, je fais un gâteau. Oui, on va avoir ça. Parce que moi,
Not yet, so we're gonna serve it for the dessert.
La météo, en fait,
c'est d'accord, c'est
c'est un truc
ça.
autre chose. Et là, c'est que la météo, là, c'est plus rien.
Good.
Oh, is it?
People are saying it's very good.
Quoi?
Very good.
Merci. Et gâteau? Très bon. Merci. And that wraps up today's video. Despite encountering a few hiccups along the way, I'm thrilled to have made it through. I've got plenty more practice ahead of me to reach the level of cake perfection my auntie achieves. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. A bientôt!